What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. I haven't done anything car related, video related, anything like that in now almost 3 months, because I basically almost completely finished the BMW, did all the body work, made the fenders, made the hood, primed the whole car. I actually got way farther than like the last video shows, but then I just started to realize that this place, even though like it was really great to us, it was our first house and stuff, and made the garage exactly how I wanted it, it's just not big enough, and it's just a fact. I know I have way too many cars and whatever, but it's just not big enough. So basically, just one day we decided, like, okay, if we're gonna actually get something a bit bigger, we should probably do it now. The way the market is and everything, it was just, everything was kind of like the right time. So everything lined up, got kind of everything figured out what we wanted, and started looking. And everything is so overpriced, so insane around here, especially. Anything with some property is like $1 million. It's way out of reach, and it's just unrealistic. So we did end up finding something that is really, really run down, like really rough, needs lots of work. But it's got, I wouldn't say a ton of land, but like a ton of land, because it's out in the middle of nowhere. There's no neighbors. It's just fields all the way around. And so I'm super stoked. We're very excited about it. And like I said, this has been like a 3-month process. So now I can finally say things are happening, and it's happening. So this is completely empty, which is crazy. I haven't seen it like this basically since we bought it and did all this. That's crazy. So this is completely empty. All the cars are like in storage. It was a huge process. Upstairs was completely full of car parts, Skyline stuff, the Sylvia stuff, BMW stuff, Miata stuff. All that is in a family member's garage just for now. Yeah, this was a huge process, and it's gonna be an even longer process once we get the new place. Probably not gonna be a whole lot of car stuff happening, but I'm super excited because it's gonna really set us up for, I think the future is gonna be pretty cool. So this is gonna be the final look at the garage. It feels like I just did this, and we just moved in and just did the drywall and painted, but it's been 3 years. So time to move on and onward and upward, but I'm super stoked. I'm so excited. I'm just a little sad about losing this, and we're gonna be going somewhere with basically nothing. So it's gonna be a long process, but it's gonna be worth it. We're excited, but also super nervous, very, very stressed, and we're gonna see what happens. But we'll go and check out the new place, which is, I'm stoked. So now this place, we're closing on Thursday, so like 4 days. And then the next place we should be closing basically the day after. So we should have it next weekend, and we're gonna get right to work because it needs a lot of work. So we're gonna get right to it and get that. But anyways, we're saying bye to this place, and it was good while it lasted, but we need more space. So we're out of here. The craziest thing about that video that I just filmed was me talking about how long of a process it was to like list the house, sell the house, move everything out, wait for the closing date. I said that was 3 months. So after that happened, that's when the real wait like actually started. So I said we're supposed to close our house on June 27th, which we did. That went fine, no problem. Getting the new place though has been a huge inconvenience. Just everything over and over, just problem after problem. So now it is, what day is it? It's September 14th. We got the house on September 10th. We started everything in, I think like May, moving stuff around, you know, getting everything painted in the old house, getting it ready to list, all that started in May. So we've been looking at houses and stuff since about April, and yeah, now it's September. So huge process, and it's just crazy because it's just never ending, but it's finally ended. We're done, we're here. We're at the new place. Not like living in it because it needs a ton of work. Like the whole house needs to be completely gutted. The house is built in 1910, so it's really old, but the location of it is like pretty sick. So everything is what we wanted, like more space-wise, no neighbors. So we're stoked. We're pretty, you know, upset that it took so long, and I basically haven't done anything this entire year because I couldn't work on cars when they're in storage. So hopefully now we're gonna be able to get into doing the house stuff. I don't know how much that I'm gonna actually film because, I don't know, it's pretty boring, I guess. The only reason I watch it on YouTube is because I'm trying to like learn what to do for this house, because we're gonna have a lot of work. I don't really have like a deadline set for when we're gonna be in the house, but we were hoping before Christmas before, but now that we're back another 3 months, I'm hoping just like spring will be in this house, and then we can start getting life kind of back to normal. But anyways, before there's too much talking with explaining why it took so long and stuff, I'm gonna go and we're gonna just show the place a little bit, and we'll see what we got and just go over that, and then do more talking at the end. But let's go check it out. Okay, so here we are. This is technically like the backyard. This is what we look at. I'll get into that windmill in a little bit because that was a huge thing, but look at this, dude. This is so sick. The closest neighbor is over there across the road, and like over a little bit there's nobody all the way around us, so this is really sick. The main thing, obviously, with all the cars and stuff, I'm gonna have to have a, you know, a pretty big shop, a big building. This place doesn't have that. It does have this, which is technically called like an implement shed, which is like when the farmers were farming the field, they would put their like discs, plows, tractors, whatever, just in it. So it's not closed in, and you can see it's in pretty rough shape. But the silver lining here is this part of the building has been here, I don't know how long, like nobody really knows. It's been here a long, long time. But that part over here, which is 30 by 40, is about 11 years old according to like Google Earth. So say like, I don't know, newer than 15 years old, right? You can go back, oh, there's some birds. It always scares you. You can go back on Google Earth, like on the computer, to I think 2009 or something, and this isn't here, and then the next one in like 2011 or something, it is here. So this part is like not bad. It's not the best construction, honestly, because it was never really designed to be a pole barn or like a shop or anything. But we're gonna do some stuff here. Oh my god, dude. We're gonna do some stuff in here to beef it up, make it actually a decent building and shop. And so that obviously involves digging the whole floor out, putting cement down, and then filling in this wall. So we're gonna build a wall out, put hopefully a decent sized garage door, and then just like a man door. That's the first thing that's gonna happen, hopefully, fingers crossed. It doesn't take too long. But yeah, then this side is just probably gonna be tore down because it's all rotten up there. The roof has sagged. All these poles are obviously leaning pretty heavily, so this part is not great. We could probably park trailers under it, like my trailer or whatever for now, but I don't even really want to risk it because it looks pretty rough. So this place is just under like 1.5 acres, which is pretty crazy. So I think it's 210 by 250, and our old house was like 60 by 120. So this is over double the size, like way over double. But it's so crazy. I just come in here sometimes to just be sitting, listening to the windmills just whooshing. It's pretty sick though. Now this is like the property line here. So this is a 100-acre field all the way around it, and it was severed a few years ago. So this is basically how much land we have, which I don't know, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but it is quite a bit of land. So I'm super stoked with this. My plans, basically, like I said, we're gonna hopefully finish off that corner, the 30 by 40 section, and then knock this down. And then way, probably like many years down the road, it would be really cool to build a big, long pole barn in here. It's super cool to have a massive shop, which we have the space for, which is cool. We just don't have the money for it right now. So hopefully that will come eventually. But man, I'm so stoked. And the yard is not great. This used to be a barnyard, so this is all like gravel. I guess there used to be a big like grain silo back here and a couple little outbuildings in here, but it's all gone now, which is fine because it's just wide open space. So it would be cool to like dig this out and actually make this part of a yard, or you know, extend the driveway, which we have a big loop over there. So that could be cool. But I want to obviously extend that over this way and up to the shop. But then it would be nice to have, you know, a bunch of grass out here. Now moving up this way, a couple of big old trees. I think one of them is gonna have to come down. It's kind of in, you know, over top of the house, and it's been partly cut down when they built this part of the barn. You can kind of see it's shiny and semi-new. But yeah, I think this is gonna have to come down. Unfortunately, it's massive, so it's gonna be expensive. But this is like the front yard-ish, side yard thing. This is a septic system, which sucks because it's kind of an eyesore. It's like a giant hill, but that's how they do it. It's brand new. So this is like in 2021 when they severed the house, they put in a septic system. I guess you have to do that. This shed, it's got some really cool like massive old bricks, but it's just in the way. So, and it's also falling apart. You can see up here, like it's completely, this is just ready to fall down. So this whole thing's gonna come down. And yeah, I'm thinking about maybe building like a lean-to type shed thing off the side of that instead of having this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna go inside, check out inside, and it's if you thought this was rough, it only gets worse. So we'll take a look. You see, starting off, this little patio thing is completely sinking, but we do want to move this back door, which I'll explain in a minute. Oh, this is a heebie-jeebies walking in here. There's no one. Hello? Anyways, so this is it. This is the house. It's very rough. The floors are absolutely not level whatsoever. They're not really like soft, like not rotten or anything like that, except for this room. It's like all the washer and dryer, hot water tank, all the water stuff. So something obviously leaked, and this is now extremely mushy. So we're gonna have to completely tear all this out and redo the subfloor and all that. But it's not a huge deal because, like I said, we're gutting the entire house. So this is obviously the kitchen. You walk in, it's not terrible, but it's pretty small. But everything is big compared to our last house, so it's not that big of a deal. But we do want to move this door into the mudroom, and then we can at least put the fridge and maybe like a little pantry here instead of, I think they had the fridge here. I see it was rubbing up against the wall with the things. So yeah, we'll put the fridge there, put a door over here, get like a tankless water heater thing, put it on the wall, and we're gonna rewire the whole house. It did technically, like it passed an inspection because this place was vacant for like 2 years or something before we bought it. So the guy that owned it, he had the hydro disconnected. To get it reconnected, I had to pay out of pocket like $2,000, and they had to come inspect everything. They put a couple like caps on the open wiring for the heater and the oven. And then yeah, they were able to rehook the wire, which is right there out to the pole. So anyways, it's technically fine, but we're gonna be gutting this place and going so far. Who knows how old the wiring is. Like, I think the house was redone in like the 70s maybe, just judging by the paneling and all that stuff. So we're gonna redo that. I'd like to move the panel over here and put in like a 200 amp so I can run power to the shop eventually. But yeah, so that'll be completely redone. Everything's gonna be completely redone. The bathroom is just disgusting. Not a bad size, but it's not like huge. But we're gonna re-tile everything. Obviously get a new toilet. That's me like first on the list. Everything else is pretty nasty, so just got it completely. Now for like the living room, on camera, on video, it doesn't really show. It looks, I don't want to say good, but like it looks not bad. But I would say from like the corners of the room to the center of the room, it's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 inches sagged. Like it's pretty serious. Maybe you can see up there, it's clearly falling. So what's happening is basically under the house, there's no main beam, like there's no structure. There's just floor joists, and the joists are like 24 inches apart, which is crazy because I believe it's supposed to be 16 or something. So we're gonna add some of those, add a big beam, and then level it all out pretty good. So I do like the windows though. It's got these massive windows. They're all pretty good except for that one. The seal's broken, so we're gonna replace that window. The windows have obviously been done because they're vinyl. They're not old wood, whatever, but the views are pretty cool. You can see the sunset and stuff when that happens. Yeah, obviously a ton of work down here, and it doesn't get any easier upstairs. So we'll go upstairs now and take a look. You can just see by looking at it. Look at that staircase. It is doorway. It's kind of insane. Now, before we even get all the way upstairs, there's some crazy stuff happening here, right? This is the floor technically, but it's like 2 pieces of plywood, and then it's just removable because I'm assuming to get beds and furniture and whatnot up here. But obviously that cannot happen. And when you're coming down the stairs and you're standing on the stairs, your head is like in it. So we're gonna have to redo these stairs. I'm thinking pull them this way and only go up like maybe 3 or 4 steps instead of 7. That'll keep you lower, and then we'll have to extend this out farther, which is okay because there's those 2 big windows downstairs, but we want to put a sliding door in for like a back patio and stuff. And that would allow us to move these stairs out a little bit and then take all this down because this is just whatever to make a closet. It's not structural. Now, the main issue up here, the floor is super sagging, sloped. And we think the main problem is there's a chimney, like a brick chimney in the wall going up to the roof, but it's been capped off. It's got a new roof on it, but it has this giant chimney. So there's like, I don't know, 1,000 pounds, a lot of weight just suspended in the second story of this house. And yeah, it's obviously, this is how we bought it. This is just, the place is just a mess. It was rented, and then for the last 2 years, it's been completely empty, and they just left all their junk, everything everywhere. So yeah, that is, I think, gonna be like the spare room, and then this will be basically the master bedroom. This just needs to be, you know, taken down, all this paneling, whatever this is. We're gonna drywall the whole house. I know there's no insulation in the attic because there's a little peephole and we looked up there. So I'm assuming there's also none in the walls. So we're gonna have to do that. And yeah, just go through the entire house. So it's gonna be a ton of work. But in this day and age, to get places like this is what you have to do. And it's unfortunate, but complaining about it isn't really gonna help. So it would be nice to have a perfect house, but this would have been double the price if this house was move-in ready and like completely livable, even with the barn being garbage and basically no storage outside. If this house was redone, it would probably pretty close to double the price, which is insane, but that's just the way it is here. We're super pumped. Obviously we have a lot of work ahead of us and a lot of stuff that needs to happen. But the main thing is we finally have the house, it's in our name, everything is done that way, which was actually a huge process. So now that I've shown the house, shown the yard, shown the barn, I'll just get into that a little bit because it's a really strange situation and I've never heard of it happening before. Like I was mentioning before when we were out in the yard, there's a windmill, which you can actually see from here. Way back there. It's like 2,100 feet away from the house. And all the issues started with that windmill. So this house was on 100 acres. All the field around it is 100 acres. The owner severed the property. It's technically not the owner's fault. He hired a lawyer, which is his lawyer, whatever, to sever the property. And normally now when you sever anything, you make sure that there's no liens, leases, anything on the title against this property because it's its own separate like entity now basically, right? So when this lawyer decided to sever everything, he just did not pay attention to that windmill being there. And so when it was severed, basically that windmill lease, because every windmill out here has a lease on the land, that they like own rights to that land. They didn't separate it from here. So when they severed the house from the field, the windmill rights also took over the house, which the owner didn't know because you wouldn't really know that unless you're checking whatever. So when we went to go buy the house, my lawyer looked into it because that's what they do, make sure the title's good. Title was not good. Title had a massive lease, not a lien or anything. So they basically had rights to this property, which should have never happened. Obviously the lawyer just messed up, which whatever, it's done now, so it doesn't really matter. But we had to go through a massive process to basically correct that. So it's a two-step thing, which I was told the first part was the difficult part, but it actually ended up being the second part. So the first part was the windmill company had to send engineers out here, which I don't know if they actually did. I wasn't here, didn't own the property at the time, but they're supposed to send engineers out to look at the property, make sure that our property that we're trying to buy does not affect the windmill. So if we want to do anything on this property, it cannot affect that windmill. So the engineers came out, whatever happened, they approved it, no problem. That was no issue. The second part was the lenders to the windmill company had to approve and basically release the property because they technically have first rights to buy anything that they have a lease on. And even though they weren't supposed to have a lease on this property, they did. So technically they had first rights to buying this place. So it was a little bit scary for a long time because that second part took almost 2 months to complete. So in total, it was 75 days of just constant back and forth, like where are we at? I had to go through lawyers and like CEOs of this windmill company in Toronto. So everything took way, way, way longer than it should have. And it's all because, you can't see it, but that windmill way back there, 2,100 feet away. So Anyways, that was basically the short version, surprisingly, of why it took so long to get this place. But now that we have it, it's ours. It will be ours for a long time. And that's basically all we can ask for. So now, like I said, it's September, middle of September. We're gonna start working on this place and getting into it, which is almost kind of a good thing because the weather's cooling off and I really wouldn't want to be in here with no AC, gutting the whole place when it's like 100 degrees out. So I don't know, silver linings, I guess, again. So that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. I just wanted to get everybody up to speed. No, you haven't missed any updates on the BMW or any other cars. I just haven't posted anything. I'm not going to any car shows. I haven't this whole year. You're not gonna see me, hopefully next year. But this is basically our lives have been this whole, basically year. Like it's been the whole spring, summer, and now into the fall. So this whole year has just been dealing with this. So I might do some updates like here and there, whatever, but the main concern is just gonna be get the house ready, get us living in it, and then we'll basically go from there. We've done some pretty cool like before shots and everything, obviously, because it looks terrible. So it should be a pretty good transformation, but I don't know if I'm gonna update that much. But once we're living in here and then everything is back to normal, our lives are continuing, then we'll get into the garage and I'll probably pick these updates up a lot more. Anyways, long video, lots of talking, lots of just gibberish, but hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing it. And yeah, this is what we've been up to and what we're gonna be up to for a really long time. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.